EA is coming in clutch, man. They dropping a huge patch coming tomorrow, Tuesday, August 6th, man. An absolute huge patch. The biggest patch we have seen all cycle, man. It's pretty much been a month since the game came out, and we've seen a couple smaller patches, but this one is going to change a lot of different stuff, man. Gameplay-wise, playbooks, uniforms. I think also new players being added. Also, Dynasty, a lot of Dynasty changes. I think it's clear EA either watched some of my videos, someone from EA either watched some of my videos, or just knew about some of these issues that we covered on this channel all year long, and some of this stuff is being addressed. Is it perfect? No, but it will be in a much better spot, man. I know a lot of you guys has been waiting till a lot of this stuff gets fixed to make your Dynasty. Well, tomorrow it might be that time, might not. It depends on what you think. But if y'all enjoyed this content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Check out my Twitch also, man. And follow me over on X, man. On X, I kind of dropped this information as soon as it came out. So go over there if you want to stay up to date, man. So a bunch of gameplay stuff, you know. Also, I think the gameplay is in a solid spot, but it's great to see a couple zone improvements from cover 2 to also hard flats. Should be just a little bit more aggressive, man. But zone coverage, definitely janky to say the least, man, at times. But it's good to see, you know, cover 2, also some cover 3 mash. The mash defenses, I feel like it was in a very weird spot, man. Very weird spot. Also, you know, cover 2 mash, the cover 4 quarters, and also cover 4 palms, cover 6 as well. All are receiving some type of improvements, man. I won't read through every single word. If y'all want to go through this, I'll have the link down below when we get the Dynasty. That's where I'm really going to lock into some of this stuff, man. Blocking also not in a great spot in my opinion, man. I think blocking maybe a tad bit worse than last year at times, it feels like, man. But we should see some massive improvements, so they say. So the big one here for me is the blocking logic enhancements. That's great because I think the blocking logic just sometimes glitches out, man. When they send 4, you'll have your left tackle just end up not blocking no one, and that left or that defensive end just come through free. You have a lot of situations like that. Also with a late blitzer, they might only send 4, but they'll send one late, and oftentimes he will come through unblocked. Just some issues with that. And that seems to be cleaned up here, man. Improved recognition of stunts and loops across base. So that's good. Stunts should be a little bit better when it comes to being picked up. Then you also get base protection is less effective against stunts. So if you do want to stop the stunts, you have to go out your way to put the proper protection on your O-line. Blockers are better at identifying late blitzers and that's amazing. We need that. Good work. Hopefully it actually plays out how it should, because like I said, a lot of free rushers when maybe you shouldn't have that. And I wonder if that also affects or just the O-line awareness being super low this year, man. I wonder if that has something to do with it, but O-line awareness is also just very low for recruits. I don't know if y'all noticed that, man. Also got some pocket stuff, man. Tuning to decrease the likelihood of a pass blocker staying in on double teams unnecessarily, reduce frequency of illegal man down the field penalties, and also edge rushers are now better recognized when they are being out leveraged by scrambling quarterbacks. So also that's like a combination of pursuit and also, you know, just not having the guy, your quarterback just run around your defensive end, and you'll have that happen sometimes, man. And this one is interesting. This one is, I don't want to say questionable, but this one's interesting. Increased pass rush effectiveness on Heisman and All-American difficulty. If you were struggling to stop the opposing team pass rush, especially on Heisman difficulty, it is going to be even more challenging. Listen, I thought it was pretty hard. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was pretty hard, man, especially when you're a bad team. Your O-line be getting ate up. So that's going to be even more challenging. And maybe the thought process is like the O-line overall should be in a better spot. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it actually plays out. And then also they decrease pass rush effectiveness on lower difficulties, which I guess makes sense. But interesting stuff there. You also got a bunch of run blocking improvements as well. Some of the big stuff I noticed here is, man, fix bugs causing double teams to split too slowly and prevent blockers from reaching the second level. That's a good one because sometimes it's supposed to be a combo block and they supposed to get to the second level and they never get to the second level. And there's also times where they go to the third level before even addressing the second level, sometimes even the first level. So hopefully that's also fixed. Don't really see that verbiage really in here, man. Also, edge players no longer disengage inside or take unrealistic inside angles. So that's good, man. I feel like sometimes, like I said, I don't know, the blocking and also combined. When I'm on defense, my D-line feel a little weird. When I'm on offense, my blocking don't feel like it's in a great spot. So hopefully that stuff is better, man. I think gameplay-wise, that's probably my biggest issue is the blocking across the board, man. That's probably my biggest issue personally. Outside of maybe the jump balls being a little bit too aggressive, being a little bit too good. I don't see any verbiage for that in here. That jump balls will be toned down a little bit. Is what it is, not the end of the world. It goes both ways. So if you get cheesed by the jump ball, you can also cheese them back. But a lot of O-line and D-line fixes. So we'll see how it actually plays out, man. Super excited for tomorrow. Also, playbooks, a lot of playbook adjustments as well, man. Not really going to read through all these because I want to talk about Dynasty. We have 2 new awards added to the game, man. You have a Freshman of the Year award and then also the Special Team Returner award as well. We'll take that, man. Wasn't expecting to see new awards, so we'll definitely take that. Also, you have some stuff here. Career wear and tear is now going to be shown during the transfer portal, so that's a good thing. Small little improvement. That's one thing I noticed with reading through this whole thing. It's a lot of small improvements, man. Some of this stuff, like, I don't have to read through every single thing, but just know Dynasty is going to just feel a little bit in a better spot. Like when it comes to simple stuff, and we'll get into some of that stuff later. Also correct some lighting issues. Didn't really run into that, but okay. This is a big one. Tune ability prerequisitions to better align with positional archetypes, man. This is big time because y'all, as y'all know probably, I did my whole entire series where I break down every single position group, every single archetype, and just talk through what's the best archetypes, which ones you should avoid. And we quickly realized the archetype system really wasn't thought out all that well when it comes to the abilities. Like a lot of these archetypes could just never get certain abilities because they couldn't upgrade it. It wasn't within like their skill tree to upgrade. So it's like, why do they have this ability? It don't really make sense. So hopefully all of that is in a better spot, man. Even like the zone corner is not specifically addressed here, but the zone corner don't get zone abilities. Like they get like 1 zone ability, but I believe your field corner get like 2 zone abilities compared to your zone corner only getting 1, if that makes sense. So hopefully all of that stuff is in a much better spot. Tomorrow we're going to do a full-blown test. I'll probably drop a video on it just testing this stuff. So abilities and archetypes should just make a little bit more sense overall, man. Pocket Disruptor for pure power and power rushers no longer require power moves. Also, that was another one of my issues, man. Like certain abilities shouldn't have the same requirements for different position groups. You know, you might have a linebacker getting the wrap-up ability. All that ability is so you could better just make tackles. You know, simple ability. That ability, I believe, has like an 88 requirement, 88 tackling requirement. For safeties, they could also get that abilities, especially the box safeties. But oftentimes, getting that 88 requirement for wrap-up is super challenging for a box safety. So majority of the safeties can't get that ability. So that's just one example. Same example with the hit stick ability in this game, man. The safeties can never get that ability. Maybe the requirement for that ability should be lowered a little bit so at least the safeties could get it. So instead of 88, maybe we lower it to 84. I don't mean it has to be a big gap, but just so some of these safeties could actually get these abilities. So hopefully that will also be in a better spot. It's not really specifically said here, but also Pocket Disruptor for Speed Rusher no longer require finesse moves. So they're definitely making some changes with the archetypes. Updated skill groups for many archetypes to ensure that they have access to every ability for that archetype, especially toughness. Come on, we'll take it. I'm curious why they specified toughness. Because out of all the abilities, you know, toughness wasn't one that stood out to me. You know, I think toughness had to do with the wear and tear ability. And, you know, some archetypes couldn't upgrade toughness, but the wear and tear ability was maybe the least of my concerns. You know, some of the other stuff was way more important, like not being able to get certain abilities on. For example, I think the gritty possession tight end has like blocking abilities and they can't really get those abilities. One of the tight ends have that. A lot of the tight ends can't get their abilities. So hopefully all of that is in a much much better spot, man. But this shows EA, listen, whether it was to me, you, or another content creator, they have listened and hopefully they have executed on this, man. It's unfortunate it had to come via an upgrade and it wasn't in the original game, but we'll take this. We'll take this, man. We're not going to do no complaining about, the game just being fixed and being in a better spot. So we'll certainly take that, man. Exception for the dot ability on gadget receivers for balance purposes. Okay, so gadget receivers. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Multiple fixes to playing style grades across various archetypes. People were constantly saying, "Hey, playing style messed up. Playing style messed up." Hey, I think a lot of the deal breakers are messed up and not maybe. I don't want to say they're not working properly because they probably were. I just don't think they was done the best. And we'll see some other changes here to maybe improve that, especially in the transfer portal. Updated box specialists to use defensive rush yards against per game. So that should be changed for, playing style grade. Also updated signal caller playing style rank to use the correct order. So didn't know that was an issue, but that should be in a better spot as well, man. Increased speed and acceleration for safeties and recruit generation, especially 3 and 4 stars, cover specialists, and hybrids. I did not know this was an issue. I honestly did not realize this was the issue. I thought speed just was lowered across the board. I noticed safeties were slow, but that was the hybrids, or excuse me, the box safeties. They are extremely slow at sometimes. You'll have some 3 stars coming in with 81 speed. You'll have literally linebackers, 3-star linebackers coming in with more speed than the box safeties. But that hasn't been addressed. The hybrid and also the coverage specialist safeties are the one that's getting the speed boost, a speed bump for, upcoming recruiting classes. So the unfortunate part is if you're in a current dynasty, if you have a current recruiting classes, all those safeties, will not see no change. It's going to be a next recruiting class. I assume they will apply this to current dynasties. So I said, if you started a current dynasty from year 1 and, you just finished your year 1 and you go to year 2. So in that next class, from my understanding, it should be faster safeties in there and all this other stuff should apply as well. And that's good. That's good, man. The Pro Potential My School grade now properly updates after draft results and before the start of the transfer portal. Okay, didn't know that was the issue, but good to see that's fixed. Increase the number of players in the transfer portal who start in the open status. Okay, so I'm interested to see if that will fix. So first of all, that's a huge change because Colorado, I did my Colorado rebuild and it was supposed to be transfer portal only, and we quickly realized that is impossible in this game, for Colorado at least, just because we will have literally 15 players in the whole entire transfer portal that we could talk to, which is ridiculous. When it's a couple thousand players in the portal and we can only talk to 10, it makes no sense. So here, it should be a lot more players in the open stage. So we'll see how that looks, if it's like 3 stars or if it's 4 stars or even 5 stars that's starting off in the open stage. But we'll see how this looks, man. But now this tells me I could do my transfer portal only rebuild, man. I could finally actually complete it and have it actually make sense. So I'm excited for that. Now, I'm also curious if this will fix the issue with the players disappearing in the portal. And the reason these players disappear is because they're deal breakers, man. It's because they're deal breakers. First, well, they start off maybe in a top 5, and out of all 5 of them schools, none of them 5 schools are interested, or maybe they don't really need a quarterback, so they don't go after that player, or they don't go after whatever, and that guy just ends up signing nowhere. I feel like that's part of the issue. So fixing this, having a lot more guys start off in the open stage, that should reduce the numbers. I don't know if it'll totally fix the issue. I really don't know if it'll totally fix it. Because another part of the issue is, you'll have some guys, they care about playing style. And, they want to go to, maybe a big school, but playing style is their grade. And none of the big schools have that same exact playing style grade. Or they're just not interested in the schools that do. So it's like a combination of a bunch of things. So hopefully having this in the open stage, open status day 1 for transfers should put in a better spot, man. We'll do a lot of testing tomorrow. But I feel like it's still going to be a good amount of players disappearing. But hopefully that number is at least decreased. And like I said, players should disappear. Players do not sign in real life. A lot of players enter the portal and never sign. Not the top players. unless they got some other issue going on. But these top 4 stars, 5 stars, they will sign. In the current version of the game, you'll have 5-star high school guys not signing anywhere because of deal breakers. Literally, that happens. That happens, man. I show examples on this channel. So hopefully all of that will be in a better spot. We will see. We will definitely see, man. And all of this other stuff is more of like quality of life changes, I would say, man. Like, for example, when in the record screen, switching between national, season, and game tabs will now keep your current filter. So just like I said, a little quality of life changes. A lot of these quality of life changes once you get down here, man. Updated some records, you know, reduced the number of passing yards. So also Super Sim should be in a better spot. Should be. We'll see. We'll definitely see, man. Super Sim. And hopefully that also includes just simulation throughout the year, just when you sim games. Hopefully that will be in a little bit better spot. And I think sim is a lot better than last year. Last year, you will lose a lot of games to small teams. It happens this year, but nowhere near as frequently. And also, you'll have running backs actually putting up some crazy numbers this year. You'll have receivers putting up some crazy numbers this year in simulation. Last year, you really didn't see that. I'm going to continue to say it. Like, just little quality of life stuff, man. So now when the strategist ability, lower the bar ability is actually in use, it will show. It will be displayed, you know, instead of you just guessing. So more of that stuff would be great, you know, when abilities are actually being used, or, you know, especially coach abilities when they're actually helping, because sometimes the ability is not specific, you know, as far as like how frequent this happens. Like, we did our test on the strategist ability where you could see the grade. I believe it's called Mind Reader. Yeah, Mind Reader, where you could see the development trait of, you know, players when you scout. And we figured out that's at about a 30% clip. But we had to figure that out through testing. If we would have just played the game, we would have had no idea. But it's about 30%, and that adds on. When you have a coordinator, that adds another 30%. And I'm assuming when you add a third coordinator, now you're at about 90% of the time when you scout a player, you will see their development trait. So I wish they just gave us more of that information instead of having to actually test it, but they don't. So also a bunch of Road to Glory fixes, man. The Road to Glory section is a lot smaller. Not going to read through it, but overall, Road to Glory should be in a better spot. Let me know when they add more positions. Let me know when they add more positions, man. I want to be a two-way player in Road to Glory. That's my thing. I want to be the starting running back and the starting middle linebacker. Is it realistic? No, but I'm not about to play Road to Glory to be realistic. That's what I want to do. I want to be a two-way player in college, running back, middle linebacker. So when they add that, let me know. Whoa, a lot of Ultimate Team fixes. A lot of Ultimate Team fixes. I'm not reading through none of them. I haven't touched Ultimate Team. But shout out to y'all boys if y'all play Ultimate Team. I will tap in one day. Also, presentation, uniforms. A lot more uniforms has been added to the game. Also, necks are added to the game. You should now be able to see people necks, if that makes sense, man. A lot of people was complaining that the helmet just covered the whole person's neck, or like the players didn't really have necks at all. So at least you should see some necks in the game if that's your thing. Increased crowd reaction to big moments. A lot of people was complaining about commentary. I know that's not a commentary thing, but also like the crowd thing. Like, a big thing happens and the commentary, and then also like the crowd don't really react to it how they properly should. And, you know, I kind of tune out both the crowd and the commentary, but there has been a couple people complaints at this point. Also, new mascots added to the game, man. That is a cool mascot. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm assuming that's James. Yeah, that gotta be James Mason. Duke Dog. That's a cool mascot. I ain't gonna lie. That's a cool mascot. But that's kind of the end of the blog, man. That's kind of the end of the update, man. A lot of stuff. Biggest patch for college football 26, man. A huge package. A lot of things fixed. Is the game perfect? No. But the game should be in a much better of a spot, man. Y'all let me know your thoughts down below. WL patch. Are y'all playing the game? Are y'all excited for this patch? Let me know how y'all feel, man. If y'all enjoyed the content, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. And we will be live on Twitch. Tap in. We on to the next one.